Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. Okay, so, been a while since I've done anything with Unreal Engine 4, much less anything with the Synty Studios stuff, and I kind of felt like messing with this one just a little bit. It's a new version, just came out within the last few days, and take a look at the update here. All I've done to this map is change to where run third person, run it in standalone. So, if you're not familiar with the prototype pack, essentially what it is, well, it's a prototype pack. It's going to be quite useful for working with your team, for laying things out, and being able to check things out. Like, okay, well, how do you want these walls laid out? Well, we can lay them out like this, or, how do we want this obstacle to look? Where do we want our pickups? How do we want to route our players? Where do we want to focus our combat? Whatever you want to do for trying to manage your players and checking a map out. She didn't make it. So, lots of little things to look at, building pieces and so forth. One thing that hasn't changed on this map is this right here is the 45-degree angle is entirely too steep. You cannot walk on a 45-degree slope with Unreal Engine, so you just slide off of it. There's that one, and not that one. This one? Yeah, no. There was another one that I saw in here somewhere that was a 45-degree that you can't walk on. Besides, the little pool area down here that you can't get in and out of. So once you're in it, you're pretty well stuck unless you jump up on the ledge. But yeah, this is a 45-degree over here as well, so you can't walk on that. Which is another good thing for trying to limit your player movement, to still keep some visual context to your map. It's just add in a slope that they can't walk on. We'll take a look at what's actually in here as well to get some stair pieces, ladders. I think it's kind of cool to have the sticky notes. So as you're working on something, you can run a prototype of the map, and then someone can look at it and say, okay, this is the final pass, or this is crap, or it's a bug, needs art pass. The controller icon, a boat, a bomb, some trees, the 3.5-inch floppy that, Okay, I not only am I old enough to remember 3.5-inch floppies, but I remember 5.25-inch floppies. And yes, there were even an 8-inch floppy. And no, we're not referring to my... Oh, never mind. Yeah, there's the other 45. No, it ain't. Okay, never mind. So, essentially all I'm going to do with this is show some examples that I've shown in other videos as well, like converting the character over to use the characters for here. Making the coins work, so we can pick the coins up and they'll actually give us a coin and give us a credit for it. The save point, we can just create a temporary widget. I'm not going to go into creating a save game in this video, but can show you, basically when you walk over it, we can just have it flash up on the screen saying game saved or whatever else, just so we know that this would be a save game location. Got treasure chest, targets, yeah, all kind of cool stuff. A little icon like that, which could indicate, like, well, I will probably take the collisions off of it, because it does have collisions to it. As you can see, I'm standing on it. But could set that, okay, this is going to be a player start. Just little things like that. I'm not going to worry about functionality of a ladder right now, or any of the other stuff, but we'll just keep it simple. Alright, here in your meshes folder, buildings, you got simple, which are the simple pieces, okay, like floor panels, yeah, all kind of different ramps and flat pieces and stairs to doorways to wall sections and ladders. Cool stuff. Polygon folder, a bit more of the same thing. Angled roof sections, yeah, all kind of cool stuff. got character pawns, and these are all static meshes. These are placeable ones to make it look like, this is where a player should be walking, climbing a ladder, running, holding weapons, that kind of stuff. You use that to simulate where your AI is going to be positioned, that kind of stuff. Got a characters folder. This is an actual animated version, and we'll set this up to where we can select between any of these to use as our player character, either the male or female, with or without a face. There's a dummy, that kind of stuff. The particle effects, which is the glowing ring. Generic, which would be background stuff like mountains you can see in the background. That's actually a normal UE4 sky. Some rocks, clouds, trees, water planes, that kind of stuff. Icons. In the past, I had been combining the simple icon pack just because it had a lot of cool stuff in it. This has got a lot of those in there as well. You got bullets, so you can say, okay, that's rifle bullets, pistol. You have individuals, apple, and bananas. You got different arrow icons, the coins, either smooth or with a star in it. Let's see, a balloon, which would be kind of cool for other stuff. You got an axe, a gem, a pistol, a key, heart, first aid, like cross icons, individual letters. So if you want to put actual letters up on the wall somewhere, make your own text, there you go. Point light and spotlight. So if you're trying to say, okay, run your lighting here, you can tell them how to put their lights in and where you want the lights. Wrench, player icon, thumbtack, pencil, the discs, skulls, speech bubbles, sun, sword, gear, a watch, a warning label, mini ute, which is a ute for the people who don't know anything about cars in general. A ute is a Australian or associated areas that would be a hybrid between a car and a truck. It's a utility vehicle. Very common in Australia and surrounding area. Even got a kick me. Okay, that's cool. Polish, temp, test, work in progress, fix, final, done, create custom note here. That's funny. Crap, needs code pass, bug, blank, and needs art pass. What do we have in primitives? We have a helix or a spring. Could be useful. Donuts and, just primitive shapes. Props. Awesome. Umbrella, well, trees rather. The Synty icon cube, that's cool. A couple different targets. Target stand, bushes, window bars, light switch lever, remote control switch, remote button, and then your lever for your remote switch. It'd be kind of cool to put in there. Push buttons. Yep, cool. Vehicle. There is a car. It's a rather nice car. And it does have its own skeletal mesh. So, pretty cool. Me likey. Weapons. You've got a pistol and you got an AK. And some textures. So, pretty cool. Good little prototyping pack. So, let's actually go to the lobby map. I'm sorry, your test map here. So, the next thing we want to do is we want to replace home cheese here. We don't want to be this mannequin if we're going to be in the Synty world, right? So, why it does that, I don't know. Get back in there. Characters folder, blueprints. Here's our player underscore base. So what I'm going to do here is create another one. New folder. Animations. And for the heck of it, normal. So we have a place to put that. And we need to go into the mannequin folder, character folder, mesh, go to our default UE4 mannequin, select humanoid rig from here. If you don't have retargeting manager up, just click there and it'll bring this tab up. You guys have seen me do this a bunch of times. Rotate the upper arm up by 50, lower arm down 10, back 30. Bring the hand up by 10. I may end up doing 20 or 15 on the hands. I kind of experiment with that a little bit. So down 10, back 30, up 10. You see, I always do 10. I may experiment with doing 20 just to see what it looks like. But that's all we need to do here, except for modify pose, use current pose, and save. Now we need to go to our Synty characters. Characters, not character pawns, but characters. And let's go into that skeleton, ensure that it's already set up as humanoid. That's good. We can close that. And one of the things that I usually do here is to allow me to add multiple Synty Studios Polygon asset packs. In my character folder, I will make a new folder called Mesh and go back to my characters folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of my dummy here. I'm going to left click, drag it over into my new mesh folder and copy here. I'm going to rename that to sk_polygon. So now I have my own unique skeleton. There's no preview mesh for it just yet because we haven't assigned anything to use this skeleton. So I'll go back to my characters folder and select all of the skeletal meshes. I'm going to right click and go to skeleton, assign skeleton, select the sk_polygon and accept. You'll have to do this for each one of the skeletal meshes that you've selected. But it doesn't take but a couple seconds to do it. We'll do save all, save selected. Now we go back to our mesh, load it up, and we can pick out which one we want to be our default. Dummy male, dummy female, face, no face. Let's just go with our male dummy and apply to asset and save. And finally, our mannequin animations. We want to, first off, I'm going to copy the name down. So all I did was I selected it, hit F2, Control C, and then clicked off of it. That copied the name down for me. So now when I right click, retarget animation blueprint, duplicate anim blueprints and retarget, select SK polygon, so we have a character. We're going to, in the replace box, Control V, and we're going to replace this with poly norm mole. Why not? We're going to hit change, go to our characters folder, animations, normal, and OK. And retarget. That's going to retarget it and give it our new name of polynormal. We're going to save all, go into our blueprints folder. Now we can look at our character, go to our viewport, Now, notice how the camera is right there floating in his head. This is where it's going to be just plain stupid. But let's go ahead and click on our mesh, change our skeletal mesh to dummy male. It's going to go to a T-pose and the camera gets all kind of screwy. We'll fix the camera in just a minute, even though it will work as it is. Go to our animation class, our polynormal, compile, save, click the arrow right here underneath viewport, uncheck real time, select the FPS camera, and it's kind of screwy that it does that, but let's go ahead and rotate it back by 90 degrees. Reason why I uncheck that is because I have no luck with this. It'll actually rotate the wrong direction that I'm different than what I'm telling it to. Rotate it up 90 degrees. You can reset these to 0 if you want. Let's see here. Rotation 1800 and 3330. That makes no sense. And just now we want to raise it up and pull it forward to be right in front of our character. We can uncheck our snapping here and just slowly drag it forward till you see the face just about go away or completely go away. Recheck that, go back to real time, compile, save, and we can close that. So now when we hit play, we are the character with animations. Yay, and there was much rejoicing. Alright, so what I didn't notice was in the characters, they're all showing the yellow. Typically, the way that they work, let's go to materials. I wonder, just out of curiosity, go back to my character blueprint folder, player base, viewport, and mesh. Prototype 1, prototype 2. Let it come post its shaders. This could be interesting if it does work the way that I think it should. There we go. We're green. If we go to 3, let it do its shaders, because this is the first time loading it up for me. So we got yellow, green, and blue. Let's see, we got a number 4, 5, and 6 as well. So we'll just take a look at these. It doesn't take but a couple seconds to actually look at them and see. Yep, there's red. I'm assuming, I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we got a bunch. I'm just going to leave it at red for right now. So now we go back in here and play. We're a red character. Kind of reddish orange, but yeah. So that's that. Assets. Go into my assets folder, and I'm going to create a new folder called Gadgets. Alright, with all the cool different things we've got here, we've got icons and generics, and let's start with the coin. Alright, so show an example of taking that coin, making it as a pickup item that we can pick up. It will vanish from the map completely and never come back. But we also wanted to have a coin value, which we could have 2 different coins, a little coin and a big coin, but we'll just start off with one for right now. And in our gadgets folder, let's go ahead and create a new blueprint actor. I'm going to call this our coin underscore PU for pickup. Now, with that open, the next thing I'm going to do is go back to my mesh folder. Icons, yeah. And I'm going to select SM underscore icon coin 2. Go back in here, add component, static mesh, and there's our coin. Now, if we look at it, this coin is Well, it's halfway into the ground. So I'm going to move it up. That's 30. Let's move it up by 50 so that we can actually see it. Compile and save. Now I'm going to go back to my gadgets folder and I'm going to drag this into my map. We see now that it's above ground. So if we hit play, walk in here, and there it is. It's above ground. And depending on your taste, you can make it higher or lower, whatever you want. I chose 50 because it seemed like a logical place. But if you want to see how it looks in the map, you can actually do that. Let's move it up to 100. Kind of liked where it was, but that's fine too. We'll leave it there. But to make it a little bit more interesting, let's go ahead and make it rotate. So we're going to add another component. Rotating movement. With that selected, we have 180 as the default. So let's go in here and take a look at it. Well, that's going to be pretty good. You can change that number to make it increase or decrease the speed. You can also change it to where it rotates flipping upside down and whatever direction you want it to go, but we're going to leave it the way it is for now. But you see it has collisions, and if we were to try to stand on it, oh god, end up getting dizzy. So next thing we want to do is go back to our coin and collision presets, no collision. Compile, save. Now if we hit play, we should be able to walk right through it. Yep, no problem. But now we want to be able to pick it up and make it go away. Well, we've got that up there. Another thing we want to do is go back to our character blueprints. Go into our character, and we're going to need a new thing. We need money. So player stats. We'll add it into the player stats. So let's go to variables and call this our money. And we're going to make this an integer because we just want whole numbers. Hit compile and save. Currently we have 0. We'll get back to that in just a minute. So we just wanted that there saying that, hey, we now have money. But while we have it selected, we can go to our category, change it from default to player stats. So it puts it inside there. We'll worry about other stuff on that as we need to, but we'll come back to that. So the next thing we're going to need is a sphere collision. And we'll raise that up to 100 to match. That's actually a really good size. So now we have a collision box. Compost, save. Now, let's just get rid of everything in here. And on our sphere, collision ball. So we know what it is. So we'll right click on that, add event, on component begin overlap. That's going to give us this lovely node right here. And from other actor, we're going to cast to player underscore base. If we only want this to work if our player gets it. If we want any character to get it, then we could just say cast to character. But by dragging from here and putting it in, it automatically connects there. So what do we want to happen as soon as our player runs into it? Well, first off, let's go ahead and add in our money. Let's get our money. And let's set a value of 10 for this coin right here. So we're also going to drag off of here and set money. So what we want to do is we want to get our current money amount and integer plus integer, and we're going to do plus 10. So as soon as our player steps into this box. It is going to add 10 to our money, and then destroy actor. We want it to go away. So as we go through here, and doop, the coin goes away, it is removed from existence and will never come back. If it's something we wanted to come back, we would set, we would do something totally different, but we just completely removed it. We just want it to be gone completely, so our player just can't run back and forth. We're not setting visibility. We're making it actually go away, so we can't just sit there and keep farming that one coin over and over again. So that's cool, right? Next thing we want to do here is we need to add to our HUD widget. UI folder, HUD, player HUD. Okay, bottom right hand corner, that's our health bar. For right now, I'm just going to put the word coins or money and another box up here. So I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to grab text, anchor it to the top right, and I'm just going to change the text to say money. We can center it if we want to. I'm just going to shrink it down. Then I'm going to take another text block. So we got this at, let's say, 120 by 40. I like whole numbers. I'm weird like that. Alright, so now make this 120. We're going to change this to 000. And that's fine. We're going to anchor it to the right hand side. In this position, let's anchor this one to the upper right. And we need to, what do we have that one at 140? So negative 140. So it's, it doesn't look right here. So we'll grab this and we'll anchor it to the right as well, so that they line up on the sides there. And now as we keep going, it'll keep growing as it needs to this way and be limited into this box. If it becomes a problem, you can always just rescale that box. So while we have that one selected, let's go ahead and compile and save, and then create a binding for this. Just click on bind, create binding, make a little bit of room. We're going to rename it and get player money. From here, we're going to cast to player underscore base and get player character, and this is going to be very complicated. Get money. But this is an integer, and that's looking for text. So just drag that over there, and it automatically will connect that. So now it's going to get our money and update it every time it changes. So now we hit play. We have 0 monies. Pick up that. We just got 10. You can see by running back and forth through it, that's it. So I'm going to grab this, Control-C, Control-V. Just going to put a couple of them in here so we can see that it actually works. So, yep, 30. And so we don't have to use my own special sound effects like or whatever, making weird noises. You could actually go ahead and get your own sound effects to go in there. It could be the sound of a coin dropping into a bag of money. If you watch your actor count on the upper right hand corner where it says 20 actors, 19 actors, 18 actors, it removes the actors from the actual map. But using that destroy actors, so there we go. That's a simple way of doing our money. Now with that, to make it a little bit easier to see, I'm going to grab an image, and first thing I'm going to do once I do that is I'm going to anchor it to the upper right as well. I'm going to change the color and opacity to black, but I'm going to change the alpha to 0.5 so it's see-through. And now I want to change my Z order to -1, -5, whatever. And now I just want to drag this up here. And scale it up so that it actually covers that area. You can make a much prettier way of doing things. I'm just showing you the basics here. Now it kind of stands out a little bit more. And for prototyping, this is more than good enough. So I would say, like, tell it to play a sound whenever you actually do that. I don't have any sounds in here, but the assets folder in my simple multiplayer Steam template comes with the click wave file. So if we wanted to, we could actually add that in there. Let's go to our gadget, coin pickup, and all I'm going to do here is, before I destroy actor, let's go ahead and play sound at location. And I'll show you why we're going to do play sound at location. We only have one sound. Location. We need a location. So I'm going to grab the location of the... It doesn't matter. We can get the coin itself. Get world location. Plug that into there. And let's see if it works normally. Sometimes there's a minor hiccup right there. So you might have to run a delay of 0.2. But now, yep, works just fine. So now we at least have a sound. You can make that whatever sound you've got or whatever you want. Hell, all you got to do is just do a Google search for royalty-free sounds, or if you want to buy your own sounds or make your own audio or whatever, just to get you by, that's good enough. So that's our coin pickup. That was nice and easy, right? And it works, so we can actually see that we are obtaining monies, and it's awesome like that. Let's go ahead and Control C, Control V, and put some more in here. Now, something to always keep in mind of when you're creating stuff, be neat. Create folder. Pickups. Now I'm going to take all of my pickups that I've just created and I'm going to move them into that folder. Now I can minimize that folder, and then I can make another folder called hello. No, not you. You were such an idiot. It's because I still had them selected. This folder is going to be called Map Shitola. You can call it whatever you want. This is just the generic map stuff. So now everything's neat and organized. You can minimize things and know, okay, where are my pickups? Okay, they're in this folder right here, and there you can go in and find them. So we now have coins. They make sound, and they update our player HUD to actually show that we actually picked them up. I want to do one more. Don't have any regular particle effects right now, so we haven't set up shooting, so that's Square tree, that looked kind of like a lamp too. Boost pad. I like things like this. So to take a look at what the boost pad looks like is that. Now, you guys know how much I am on things. Now this actually would not be bad, but it wouldn't really work with the conveyor belt trick. So what I think I'll do with this one is create this to launch you this direction. So when you get it, it'll be a launcher instead. So no matter if you land on it, we want it to throw you off in a different direction. So let's delete that. Let's go back to our gadgets folder, blueprint, actor, launcher, or launch pad. Open it up, close our coin because we're good with that. And props, boost pad, add component. Boop, there you go. So it's there. Compost, save. Let's go ahead and add another component in here, which would be a box collision. Name it all the way. And then let's go ahead and stretch it out so it matches the size. And let's make it a little bit wider. Beautiful. And I'm going to go ahead and raise it up. That should be perfect. Compost, save, event graph, delete everything. Right click on the box collision, add event, on component, begin overlap. Other actor, drag off from there by left clicking and dragging off. Cast to player underscore base. Again, that's just the name of my player character. You can change it to whatever you want to, but that's just what I call it. Now this is going to be really complicated. Launch character. I know, it's complicated. Velocity. Now, here's where it's going to be fun. Z is going to be your elevation. So let's do 1,000 on that. And let's take a look at it. Go to our gadgets. Drag that into the map. Hit play. We do it. It's just going to launch us up into the air. Doesn't matter which way we're going. It's going to continue to throw us in the direction we're going, but launching us vertically at the same time. So what if we did, instead of that, let's change it to the Y. What happens if we put it there? It's wanting to launch us backwards. If we're trying to run this way into it, it's just going to block our character. If we're running at it this way, it's going to throw us off to the right a little bit. So if we do it this way, it's just going to kick us up a little bit. Not very exciting. But what if we change that to also do new? Let's do 500 and the Z at the same time. So as we come over here and we hit it, boop, it's going to give us a lot more velocity to it. So no matter which way we hit it, it's going to knock us back in this direction. I'm sure there's a way you could actually go back in and stop the player's movement and then restart it so that it always throws him in that direction. But if you're going this way, you want to really get a good boost. Bang. There you go. That's cool. That works. Last thing I'm going to do is just a really quick thing. And let's change our player's speed. go to our character movement, max step height, jump, max walk speed. Let's change this to 400, slow our player down just a wee bit. So now when we're playing, we're still moving pretty good, but we want to hold down the left shift key, we'll say, and that way it'll give us a sprint, be able to go a little bit faster. So easy enough. Find you a clear spot, and let's do a keyboard shift, left shift. So with that selected, we're going to get a reference to our character movement, and when we press it, we're going to increase it, and when we release the key, we're going to go back to normal again. Unless you want to toggle. If you want to toggle it, just use a flip-flop node off of the pressed. But we just want to do press, go faster, release, go slower again. And from there, set max walk speed. And we're going to put one here. Control C and Control V. Connect this one to here. Now, when we press it, we're going to go to 800. Dial it back to 400 when we let go of the key. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. So now we're walking left shift, we can sprint. When we let go of it, we go back to walking slow again. I know it's complicated setting up things like sprint. Now, if you wanted this to actually, as you're sprinting, you want to lower, you want to add a sprint bar in, you could just create a new variable called stamina, I think that's right. Category, player stats, variable type, screw it, let's make it an integer as well. Compile, save. Now here's the trouble, is there's a couple different ways of doing this, but you can I would say also is sprinting, and leave it the way it is there, just make it a boolean, and compost, save, and we want to set is sprinting to true whenever we are sprinting, and leave it unchecked whenever we're not. Now this, I haven't checked to see if this is going to replicate or not. I'm not worried about replication at this point, but we want to set is sprinting to true when we are sprinting and not. And the crappy way of doing this would be to run an event tick. I'll show it that way, even though I don't like doing it that way. So if you run an event tick, delta seconds. I have to remember what delta seconds does. I believe that's so that you're not running it every second. There's other ways of doing this. This is just the worst way. Sorry for showing it the worst way. Let's actually get a branch node. Like I said, this is absolutely the worst way of doing this. We want to ask, are we sprinting? And if we are, we just want to start setting up a thing to where we get our stamina. And I want to set stamina. So if we are sprinting, we're going to do one thing. If we're not sprinting, we're going to do something else. So if we are sprinting, we want to get our stamina and do integer minus integer. No, damn it, get up there. And we're going to subtract 1 from that. We're going to wait a second, then we're going to, by doing a delay. This is absolutely a terrible way of doing it. We're going to do a 1 second delay. And then we're going to loop back to here. Just move it down a little bit so we can see that's what it is. From here, essentially, same basic principle. But we're going to I'm just doing it the terrible way just for the essence of time. We're already at 46 minutes. So we're going to screw it for every second. We're going to lose 1. Screw it. Let's do 5 every second. Just to get the point across. And short term, let's go ahead and add in our UI, HUD, player HUD, and right down here, since I've already got the black border box set up, let's go ahead and do this. Another progress bar. Make it the same size as that one. Close, whatever, I don't care. You can make it bigger or smaller, whatever you want. This one right here. Let's go back down to our color. That one's going to be blue. This one's going to be red. Let's change it to a yellow color because that's typically what people associate with. Let's do 75.75. Sprinting being yellow. And then you can see how it fills and decreases. And we want to bind the percentage here. Create binding. We're on this one. We don't want it to be get percent. So we want to get player stamina. And see, we've already got the get player money. We can actually just grab this right here. Control C. And just paste it in there. And what we're trying to get is get stamina. Connect that to there. Connect that to there. And it is lovely. Anchor to the bottom right, dum-dum. So now our stamina is full. If we sprint, we want it to actually go down. So let's go back to our player character. Player stats, stamina, 100. Let's actually put it at 80. And we want to actually make this work as well. Yeah, I don't like doing it this way. It's absolutely terrible to do it that way. Get our staminas. You know what? I'll come up with a better way of doing that. For now, let's just go ahead and we know that we have a stamina bar, and I will come up with a better way. Reason. Let's do Control Z, 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 Control Z. Because I forgot to do something. I blame all of you for letting me do it, even though nobody else said anything. Go back to our player HUD. Go back to our get player stamina. Let's get rid of you. And let's do integer. If we see how we did it here, is this is a float. So we're doing division by 100, and that's going to give us our scale. So integer divided by integer, and we're going to do 100 because we're doing 100% scale. 100 is full and 0 is empty. Compost and save, and now we go in there. We want to actually read out what our current stamina is, which is 80. Let's break that, make sure it's not feeding. Why is it showing 0? Your player, get our stamina, divide it by 100, and print it off there. Because typically that's done off of 1.0. I just do it by 100 just to kind of break it out a little bit different. And our stamina is set to... we don't need our player HUD. So we can put this back down to 0 if we want to. Player stamina 80. Compile, save, and play. And it is not reading. Oh, this is at the point where let's get rid of that. I'll come back and actually do a real version of that. So we don't need to worry about that for right now. Prototyping is not going to matter all that much anyway, but I did want that to actually show the correct number. Get player stamina, graph, casting to our player, getting our stamina, dividing it by 100. It's exactly the same way that I did my health, which is just getting it, dividing it by 100. And see, that's as a float. If we went back in here and did stamina as a float, because it's not even used in here in anywhere. And we'll go back to our player HUD. That's a float. And now it's showing full. Oh, that's health. Never mind. Stamina. So we need to get rid of these two now. And go back to float. Divided by float. Change this to 100. And connect that into here. For some reason, it did not like that as being an integer. Now it's reading correctly. So now you can set it up to where whenever you're sprinting, it will start diminishing it. It just did not like it being an integer. Makes no sense, but whatever. Alright, that's that. So then I could go back in there and redo the whole thing again. Alright. If you guys want to see anything else from this pack, how to set up any of the pickups, things of that nature, let me know. Be glad to take a look at it again. I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time screwing around with a few things here and there, but I just kind of wanted to, well, let's add some hair in. I want some hair. My character is just the mannequin. Let's actually go back into our player, just to be different. Go to our viewport, mesh, go from the dummy to the male with a face, and compile, save. Go back to our, where did you see that? Was it in props? Characters. Select it here. Go back in. Select our mesh. Add component. Static mesh. Parent socket. Head. And let's go ahead and rotate it back 90 degrees. And compost and save. Yay, we has hair. Looks a little odd. Totally featureless. But it's a prototyping thing. Alright. We're at the hour mark. It's time to give it a rest for a little bit. If you guys want to see some more, let me know in Discord. If you want to see anything else, like any of the other icons or anything else made usable, like we could have something that would cause us pain, add a pain pad in, then throw bananas and apples into the map and increase or decrease our health, whatever we need to do, so we can have health pickups. We could add in another coin that adds a different number amount, an ammo icon. I'm not really worried about doing any shooting or anything fancy right now. Could do a weapon icon like the gun and have it spinning just like the coins are, and when we go over and pick up the weapon, it'll just throw it on our hip, just so we can show that we've picked up a weapon and it displays on us. And I'll see if I'll work that into where it actually replicates. So if we're doing this and we hit play, change this number to 2, new editor window, as you can see, this is the client side. What we'll probably run into is, so client sees it, what happens if the server runs through, and that sees it. They both got their own separate money, and that's all working correctly. So yeah, that's good. And see the jumping works, and jumping works. Delightful. Go back to 1 and select the viewport, and there was much rejoicing. Now I did not check to see if the launch pad works with 2. So really quickly, no, I'm not going to worry about resizing anything permanently because I have 3 monitors, and you know, I'm just going to stick one on the other and not deal with it. So yep, so that was the client. Let me turn the server so the server can see it a little bit better. So we can see whenever the client hits it, they get the effect. And let's run over here as the server. Boop. It works just fine. Alright, we're good. Alright guys and gals, thanks for watching, and let me know what you want to see, and we will see you later.